And especially what I'm really excited about is the medical regenerating med beds, which can regrow limbs and restore damaged organs, etc.
After my 17 years in the MDF, on the ground, in the red sand, killing, dying, getting blown up, getting rebuilt again, we have these really cool medically, holographic regenerating medical beds. So cool. Right? They make every other medical technology you have ever heard of Dark Ages obsolete. Dark Ages obsolete. Okay? So I can explain to you how the basic of this works. And I can also tell you that I have some medical engineers. We're working on this problem. Okay? We're working on building a working model of one of these things. Okay? So we're working on this. This isn't just a thing that we got to experience. This turns out to be a thing that I know how to replicate. It's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little fun. It's going to take a little money. You don't worry about that. I don't need your money for that. I've got that money coming from somewhere else. All right? But, you know, we're going to sort that out. But let me tell you how this works. Because it turns out that two essential pieces of technology are involved that we now have. So basically what you need is a computer program, you need software that can lay out a genetic code, all the TGACs, and then build a virtual model. All right? So basically, you put that in, you put the DNA into the computer, which can take a long time, right? To input that information if you don't have a quick way to translate that information in the computer. It might take a while. But once you put that information into the computer, it will build a virtual model, a little CGI person, right? That looks like what that genetic code looks like. Now, I know, right? Cool. Now, a bunch of smarty scientists from some smarty university that is escaping me at the moment, I want to say it was like some Cambridge, Stanford guys or whatever, I don't know, some of those smart guys. You can look this up on the internet too if you want to try and find this, but 2 summers ago, they come out and they've got this software, you can put the DNA code in and you get a rudimentary sort of CGI person that it builds. And their sort of purpose for doing this is because they know that it's a really close thing in the future where parents are going to be able to decide what they want their children to be and look like and the traits they want to have based on how they can sort of, you know, change things in their DNA. And or, you know, you could also, another way that they're thinking about using this is a couple who wants to sort of create a number of test tube sort of fertilized cell babies, and then you can test them all out and put the codes in and virtually build and see what these little frozen embryos are going to grow up to be, and then pick which one you want.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Now, I don't give a fuck about that, to be honest. They can take that technology, they can do whatever they want with that technology. I'm just stoked they made it because I'm going to appropriate it and use it for what I need to use it for, because I need that same software. The difference that I need that software for and what I need that software to do is have cellular resolution. All right? We need that like CGI image to be able to sort of define resolution down to the cellular level. That's the first thing. Now, the other thing we need is a holographic lens that projects a hologram. We got those. We got good ones. The Michael Jackson hologram, you know, was it Grammys or something like that? That was a pretty good one. It was not bad, right? They got pretty good holograms now. Not bad. Now all we need is that lens to be able to project an image, a holographic image, that also has cellular resolution. All right? So if you have the DNA code that can then project a CGI image that's cellular resolution, then use that holographic projector to project that image, that CGI image that you just made to the cellular resolution level. You can now project the human body to the cellular level over another person's body. This does 2 things. Because of something called dominant harmonic frequency resonance, the cells of your body in which if you look in, you're taking this example that's a perfect example, right? It's your pure genetic code. So let's say you create a holographic projection of your liver. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be as if it was never damaged because it's going to be the perfect blueprint from your DNA code. So the holographic image of that will be an undamaged, perfect, never used liver. Now let's say you're a drinker. Maybe your actual liver not doing so good. Okay? Or maybe any other reasons. I mean, you could not be a drinker and not have liver failure. I knew a girl that I was in high school with, and she was 14 years old and had her liver go bad. She was on the wait list, didn't get it, she died. But she was 14, poor thing, right? And she all of a sudden, your liver's going, I haven't had my first drink. All right, poor thing. So it doesn't matter, but your organs can go bad for any reason. But if you project that perfect image over a damaged organ, dominant harmonic frequency resonance means that that organ is going to want to conform to the perfect projection. So over a period of time, those cells are just going to want to look like those healthy cells. And they're just going to change. Now I know that may seem like, how do you do that? It's physics. That's all I can really say. It's physics. Okay? The very raw cellular structure matching up with this image, perfect image, just wants to conform to that shape because it's a slightly solid light form being a hologram. It's a sort of three-dimensional, semi-solid light source that the cell can pattern against and wants to be like. That's the first thing it does. The second thing that it does is, let's say I get my arm blown off right at my elbow, which I have had a number of times. More than I can count, right? Just more times than I can count. More times than I can count, waking up, going, oh, which part of me got blown off this time? Right? It's not too much fun. But you don't feel it most of the time either. So I can't really say that most often the times that I had body parts blown off that I suffered a lot, because most of the time I didn't. I didn't hardly feel it at all. Or, you get blown apart, you lose consciousness. Pain stops, when you lose consciousness. But let us just say I get my arm blown off, cut off, right here at the elbow. Now if I project a holographic image of this arm past this elbow, connecting up to this elbow, normally what happens, the reason your cells stop growing is they hit air, they hit oxygen, they go, no more arm, we got to stop right here, arm's gone, it's not there. Well, this fools the cells into thinking that the arm is still there. So they're just going to keep going, all the way down to the fingertips. Now, we had a holographic regenerating med bed that could do that in a matter of hours. Hours. About 4 hours.
Wow.
Right? You get your arm blown off at 10 a.m., you're cleared to go back to duty by dinner time. Okay? Yeah, no days off. No days off. You gotta get a few limbs blown off, and then you ask that, when you come to, one of the first things I would always remember to ask is how long am I gonna be here for? When I get blown off, and they'll just be like, you'll be out of here by this afternoon. Well, tomorrow afternoon. Oh, it's gonna be a while. You're gonna be here for 4 or 5 days. Woo, time off. So it fools your arm, okay, and it will just keep going right down to the fingertips. Now, let's just say we get to build this technology right now. Now, it's not going to take 4 hours. It's going to take longer. And we don't need to project the entire arm. Actually, I only need to project enough that the arm that connect to the cells, they keep going. So you could project, let's say, like a disc that's, this thick and that round of your arm. So you don't need to project that much space to do this. You can do it very small bits, you can grow in bits, you can do it in sessions. So the technology that we're talking about doing will be able to grow back someone's limbs, arms, legs, whatever, but it will probably take a number of sessions over a period of days or weeks. But I say, so what? Because you're still going to get to grow people's arms and legs back.
Wow.
And I want to be perfectly clear that as much as I would love to give you all access to this technology right away, the people who get in line first, okay, are all the veterans who've had their arms and legs blown off. I got mine back. It's not fair that we have the technology that could give theirs back and we say, no, we don't have that, and not give them their arms and legs back when we can. I think that's bullshit. And if I have anything to say about it, I'm going to make sure they get their arms and legs back. No, don't applaud yet. applaud when I do it. Then you can give me a rousing round of applause when it happens. Until then, just be hopeful and like, go Randy, right? Like, go team and we'll get it done. Yes.
Thank you, Randy. What would be the implications for disease like leukemia and cancer?
So basically we're talking about the ability to cure and restore any cellular biological process to blueprint perfection in a matter of hours or days.
So
Anything.
everything, nothing left.
In fact, things like cancer, leukemia, that's going to be easier stuff. Like the hardest things are going to be growing back limbs. That's going to take the most time to rebuild new tissue. Anytime you just have to like tell old tissue to like get better, like that happens pretty quickly. So anytime you're dealing with tissue that's already there, you're going to be able to clean that up in no time. They used to give us a wild cocktail of drugs, mostly what I would consider physical performance drugs. So your liver would go out about every 5 to 6 weeks. And so you would get regular, testing to see how your liver was doing. And then when it would be about time that your liver is about to go out, they would say, no, your numbers are down. You got to come in and get your liver reconditioned. And so it became like this. Oh God, I got to go and get my liver done again. Jesus. Because it takes about 3 hours, and you kind of just like it becomes this thing you have to do about once a month. And believe me, after 17 years of doing it at least once a month. And, again with the liver rebuild. Okay. I mean, it just becomes, it's hilarious to me that I can say that now, that it just becomes the most tedious thing in the world after 17 years of having your liver put back together again. The drug cocktail that they were giving us was so intense that it was knocking out livers and kidneys fast. So in some cases, you could go out in an afternoon or a day of combat. And depending on how much you were, we had these injectors inside the suits that would go right into your leg. So depending on how much you're getting, you could knock out your kidneys or your liver in an afternoon or in a day. The drugs were that intense and were that physically damaging. But they have, again, this is the technology to fix this like that. So who cares? Sure, we're going to ruin your liver. It's a new one.
The Andromedans use color, light, and holographic tools for healing. Now, it's not that they catch a disease, but occasionally some of their scientists that are out in the world, or they're exploring a comet or exploring a quasar, accidents happen, all right? And in that case, they would have to fix their physicality. One of the things that they do is they have this camera that is the most remarkable thing I've ever seen. This camera takes a picture of you. They remove the film. The film has your picture from the moment you were conceived to the present moment that they take your picture. It has your entire life right there. Now let's say that you are suffering from a cancer. What they'll do is they would take a portion of that slide, that picture of you, where your body was the strongest. They will take that out. They will remove the rest of the film. They will take that picture, that piece of this picture of you where your body is the strongest, the most vibrant. Doesn't matter the age. And they will put it back into the camera and project that holographic image over your body. And within moments, you're healed. It's just that quick.